Hey everybody, this is Jennifer Elrod and I'm back with another 3-minute thought for you. And this week's 3-minute thought actually connects to what Marissa has already shared in a 3-minute thought this week. We worked together to talk about both the distance that we put between ourselves and our Father, just like in the story, the parable of the prodigal son. But today I get to talk about the embrace that happened when that great divide was closed. See, as she recounted in the story of the prodigal son, he first turned and began to close the distance that he'd put between him and his father. He decided he would be better off just being a servant at his father's table, and he turned to go home. But as soon as he got on that street that home was, the father saw him from a mile away and took off running. And he went to embrace his son. His father initiated the saving after his son had already turned. And just imagine what kind of embrace and hug that was. Now, there are lots of ways that we tend to hug people. You can give a polite side hug to an acquaintance or a colleague. You're not really that close, and there's definitely some distance there when you give that kind of hug. Then there's a one-way hug. We all know what happens then. You go to hug somebody, and that love is just not reciprocated. Then there's a buddy hug that's like a friendship type hug. But I happen to know the exact type of hug that the father gave to the prodigal son. He gave him a bear hug. That bear hug, it's tight, it's reassuring, it is a breathtaking embrace. It's one of those hugs that's worth a million words, even when the people aren't saying a word. It relieves all stress and anxiety. It is your safe spot. It's that tight embrace that offers both safety and peace. And I happen to know that not only is that the type of hug that the father gave to the prodigal son, that is the type of embrace that the Father wants to give us every single day. John 12:32 said, "If I be lifted up, I want to draw all men unto me." Not just the prodigal son. He wants to embrace us all in that type of bear hug where we feel safe, that we feel secure, we feel protection. You know, a hug is a very meaningful connection. It almost closes the space and the distance in a moment between two people. But just think about what it does when you are wrapped up in the embrace of the Father. So what type of hug are you giving him today? Is it the polite side hug where you're trying to keep him at a distance, just as was discussed in the previous video? Is it a one-way hug that he's giving you where you are not reciprocating his love? Are you just giving him a buddy hug of friendship? Or perhaps you're not giving him a hug at all. You just see him as the judge and as the ruler and as the Lord. But he's telling you today that he is your Father and he wants to embrace you with that bear hug. Why don't you reach out and embrace him back? Join us later on this week for some more of our full-length videos coming. Thanks for tuning in, guys.